The key to what is happening is just ordinary Thai believers sharing their testimony with their family and with their friends, and they are empowered to not only lead their family and friends to follow Jesus, but also to baptize them, and then they are the ones who are looking after those new believers. So it's been really fruitful, even though it's been many people for years have never seen any fruit at all, but since 2010, 2011, we actually saw 3,000 baptisms. So this is really a big breakthrough, but it was really just the beginning, because 2011 and 2012, it was up to 12,000 baptisms. So just that simple key of Thai people themselves giving their testimony in a way that their friends and family can understand. This is not Western, this is really Thai. One pastor, he had in 15 years, had only planted one church. He was very dissatisfied with the multiplication, what was happening. But he just began to use and empower believers in his church and train them how to give their testimony to their family and friends. This man has planted 50 churches in the past 6 months. So there was a man, he's a farmer, and when he heard about Jesus, he'd never heard about Jesus before, but he was so excited that he told everybody in his family, he told his friends, he led 58 people to Christ in 2 weeks, and he just loved telling people about Jesus. And so one day he said to God, he prayed, he said, God, will you give me some money so I can buy some petrol to put in my motorbike, because I want to go to that village and there's people there and they don't know about Jesus, but it's a long way away. And God said to him, plant some corn in your cornfield. And the man said, no, I don't have time. I've got to go and tell those people. They need to hear. But God said, plant some corn in your cornfield. And he said, oh God, it's too late to do that. I've been so busy telling people I missed the planting season and now it's too late. But God just kept saying, no, you plant some corn in your cornfield. And so he did. And the corn grew up, and he got 4 times as much money for his corn that was planted at the wrong time than all of his neighbors. And so there's such a blessing, not only on just salvations, but also even on people's crops. And I think it's a sign of the harvest that's coming in Thailand. Our team has a real heart to reach out to Buddhist monks because they are in the temple many times because they're searching for God and searching for reality, and they just haven't heard before about Jesus. So there are 18 monks now who are following Jesus. 12 of them, they have left the monastery, and some of them are actually preparing themselves to serve the Lord full time. But there are still 6 monks who have stayed in the monastery. They said to our church planters, when should we leave? And our church planters said, well, you ask God when you should leave. And then they came back and said, well, God hasn't told us to leave yet because we've still got work to do here. And so they are sharing their testimony in just amazing ways. One Buddhist monk actually has baptized other monks in his monastery because they also want to follow Jesus. There was a young monk, he had done a degree in Buddhist theology for 4 years. And he said to the older monk who led him to Christ and baptized him, he said, do you know why I really believe that Jesus is the real way and Jesus is true? Because I went for 4 years, I studied Buddhist theology. All I had were questions. Nobody could answer my questions. But in 1 hour, you have answered all my questions from that book, and you don't even have any education. So I know it must be true.